This is a good episode.
Welcome back.
We here.
14, baby.
Yeah, finally got past 13.
Yeah.
Did that.
Yo, what we listening to on the way over here?
Joy. That Pharrell song. Joy.
Never heard it. You doing the whole Kanye thing right now.
I know.
That's what it
Sunday
sounds
service right there.
Sweet.
What you listening to, Mike?
I told you I damn near ran out of gas. So for the first time ever, I heard whatever the hell sound it make when you about to run out of gas. I got down to 30 miles before, but it ain't make that noise. I got down to 6. I was like, oh shit.
I ran out of gas the other day.
How you do that?
Yeah,
I'm trying to get here.
I ran out of gas the other day.
Oh, you ran? I never ran all the way out.
I was watching the episode. When we edited, we was watching the episode, so we was watching the edit, before we set up the final cuts. And I'm watching that. I'm on the highway, slow in traffic, and I'm driving, and all my lights turn on in my car. And it's like, this vehicle is about to stop. I was like,
Aren't you the same one?
What?
Why?
Wait. You the same one who, when I said we were good with the engine, with the gas light on, yo, you ain't gonna do nothing about that? That's what he said to me. He said, yo, you ain't gonna do nothing about that? I said, I know my car. I know how much time we got. He said, I think we should do something about that. How you ignore your car?
Because I was watching the episode. I'm driving, watching. I forgot. In my mind, I thought I went to work and I got gas. And then I went to a gas station and the shit was a little wacky. And in my mind, I got gas.
But where's the light? You don't have a light?
I never looked up. Yeah, I never looked up. I was watching the episode.
I saw my shit when I was.
You
on
do
the
realize
highway,
he said he was driving while he never looked up, right?
I know, right?
You never drive and never look up? My shit got sensors. Bro. We driving 20 miles an hour. I got sensors on the car. I go boop, boop, boop. If somebody if a car too close to me, and the shit stops.
Sorry.
Yeah, to stop yourself.
Yeah, but anyway, tell everybody, can you please like and subscribe? Hit the subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. You know what I mean? Become part of the 4400 family. It's just like that.
That was better. I'm sorry.
You got the sound. Get the sound right.
Deflated the button.
Yeah.
Deflate gate. My button had a flat.
Smash that
So you
subscribe.
tell what you were listening to on your way over here.
All this.
It doesn't matter what you were listening to.
I was listening to some Young Thug. I was listening to his new album.
Is the album good?
Nah, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm not even a real Young Thug fan, but it has some tracks up there that I could bump to. You can listen to. You can ride out to.
Jonesburg.
Jonesburg?
Yeah. Coming straight out of Jonesburg, South.
I ain't hear that one.
It's like the second to last track of
all
all
the
the
melodies.
track.
Nah, I ain't
It's
go
funny
over
how
that
we all
far.
learn these songs and we're like, somebody try to teach us some shit. You be like, say that again? Learn that song in 2 minutes, right? It's funny how music works on a brain.
Mm-hmm. Just
What
like
you
the
was
other
listening
thing.
to, brother?
Huh? Who, me?
Yeah.
I listen to YG. I ain't gonna lie.
YG.
See somebody.
I see.
Man.
I
That's the
see.
Cali kick.
Yeah, he influenced me today, so I was like, I want my YG shit.
Cali kicks.
YG on bullshit, you already know this.
I'm waiting for you to come in here with some pointed toe joints.
That's happening in the next episode.
Get the
Some
Mexican
shiny
boots
pointed
that
toe
curl like
joints.
that.
Yeah, or the 400 shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
400 flip flop.
Oh, that's probably like the 400 you was agreeing upon that, right? When we was coming up for the names, like, 400, yeah, 400.
And we'd be like, yo, YG. I'm like, I don't ask for your opinion about YG, all right? I don't care what your opinion is. I like him, all right?
You good.
Last time that I
My
checked.
favorite rapper.
All right, get to the topic, man.
Sorry. Heroes and Cheeros, childhood influencers. What non-related person had the biggest influence on you growing up, Yuvika?
I had to be a teacher that failed me that I don't even remember his name. And I remember like early on, as soon
Just call him
as
Mr. Fucknuts.
nah, he wasn't. I wouldn't talk bad about him, but he showed me that you failing has nothing to do with like you're going to fail if you don't do what you're supposed to do. You're going to, and I just was like, I'm charismatic. I'm all these other attributes. If you none of that counts here, okay? Hey, I'm a funny guy, make friends. Nah, but he failed me. It was a math teacher. And I was really good at math, but I didn't care to show the work in the proper way. I wasn't cheating or nothing like that. He knew I was smart. But if I didn't hand in what he asked me to hand in, yeah, that was like a huge like knock early. Because everywhere else, like, because I stopped doing homework at like 3rd grade. Like at 3rd grade, I had a problem with doing homework. Like I had a problem from 3rd grade on about doing homework. But like at like 7th grade, I ran into him and he was like dead serious. Like, I'm not passing you.
Don't even come.
Get your shit together, boy.
What you guys do?
It's a multiple people. I say my godparents. I say our drum instructors when we was in Quest Drum Corps. Shout out to Herschel, Thomas, Dwayne Neely, Mike Sharbird, all the people that was a part of it, Harold, all those
Ashley
people.
Crummey.
Yeah, all those people that helped us. You know, during
I still
our
skate with him.
youth. You know what I mean? So I think those are the people that helped us stay out of trouble, and they had a great influence on our lives. Oh well, you know, I say our lives because you was there too. So, you know, but yeah, those are the people for me personally.
What you got, Mikey? Right?
Biggest influence, a teacher just like you, but for a different reason. Miss Smith was my 6th grade teacher at Mount Vernon Avenue School. Before she was my 6th grade teacher, she was my brother's 6th grade teacher. So I kind of came into first contact with her in 4th grade because she was my brother's teacher and she used to interact with my mom. But one day she caught me walking through the hall and she pulled me over. She was like, listen, can you come over here for a second? She said, we're going over something in class and essentially your brother didn't grasp it. So I'm trying to ask you if you understand what I'm doing. I did. So she thought I was like the smartest little kid in the world. So she gave me a ton of confidence. She was like, listen, even though you're not in my class, I want you to come see me every Friday. I'm going to give you some work to do.
Hey, Miss Parker.
Look, over the weekend. So I would do all of that work because in my mind, I'm thinking that this is 6th grade work. So she's prepping me to be super smart. So because of her, like I always wanted to apply myself because she made me think before I even got to her class that I had to do something to get there. She was like, no, she was an older lady. Super old
older
black
people
lady.
get it too.
No,
I know that's why he did it. He just thought she was gonna take him out on a date or something.
She was older than my grandmother. She was older than my grandmother.
time?
Yeah, she's an old lady, elementary school
What is
teacher.
Methuselah?
No, you ain't never had an old elementary school teacher. You just had a bunch of banging ass OnlyFans models.
I didn't have I didn't have nobody who was looking for smoke.
Why y'all writing her off?
All right, let me digress.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, she wasn't hot. She wasn't hot.
So why you writing her off though?
Who wrote her off?
You wrote her off. You said she's too old to get it.
Yeah. That's right her off.
Yeah. Yes. But anyway.
Duh.
Anyway, she also made sure that we saw the example that she set for her own son who went to a private school, which kind of threw me for a loop. It was like, hey, you're a teacher. Why isn't your son going to school with us? But this kid was in private school. He was in the choir. He was doing something at like the city mayor's office when he was like in 6th or 7th grade. So I was like, damn, he's essentially on my peer level, but she's setting him up for so much success. I should try and emulate that. So because of her, I always applied myself and made sure that where I wanted to be, I took steps because she showed me that steps will lead somewhere. So Miss Smith, I appreciate you and I love you for that.
We appreciate you, Miss Smith.
Miss Smith.
Who's somebody who's non-related to you that you would consider a huge influence in your life?
You know, I actually was gonna talk about Herschel and but I'm glad. I was gonna say for me, but I was gonna bring him up that we should bring them up as influencers. I would say y'all. I say y'all was a big influence because I think we all learned. I said this before. I think we learned everything together.
I didn't know I could choose from here.
I think even, you know, later on in life, meeting you, like getting newer friends, like, you know what I mean? You learned that you could get newer friends. I learned that we could, I learned that you could have an opinion or you could be thoughtful about something or in something without feeling ostracized, right? Mm-hmm. Like you could tell a joke that's fucked up. Like even when we like cut over here, we tell some fucked up jokes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then we, you know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, no, nobody's offended. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think the biggest influence I would say is y'all. I think y'all influenced me a lot to just be myself. You know what I mean? Like everybody has their own level of individuality and even when I'm talking to Stu, start texting and shit. And,
No. Don't do that. Don't do that.
He's showing that he doesn't give a fuck about nothing I'm talking about.
No.
That's not what he's doing. He's putting out a fire.
That's so good. Words hurt, man. Words hurt. That's not even said to me. You know what I mean?
But listen, man, go ahead, bro.
Just gave Miss Flowers and motherfucker texted this motherfucker talking bullshit. That's
Nah, you're not talking bullshit.
Or character had the biggest influence?
Celebrity or character, it would have to be. Again, I'll go back to my favorites like Patrice O'Neal or Bernie Mac. Like those two, like I don't know, like I don't fit in many groups and I don't ask to be in many groups. So I always had to figure out how to stand right here where I am. This is me and I'm standing here as me, and like seeing other people, and like with the Patrice O'Neal thing, like he stood there as himself, but suffered consequences for being himself. Like it was because everybody, like, you know, they say your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, but your favorite comedian's favorite comedian is him, but yet and still he doesn't have any of your favorite comedian's success. So it's just like, but he stood on his ground till he was gone. Like, and I think that is something that I want to do. But at the same time, like, yeah, I want to stand here. I want to stand here in my own skin. So those kind of influences was huge to me.
What do you guys do? Mash and grab.
I know this may be a little controversial, but
About to start spelling.
Oh shit.
for us growing up, I would say Bill Cosby. Like all the programs he put out for us to learn, for, you know, especially for the Fat Albert and the boys, he gave us a sense of pride.
It's not even controversial in this room. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not saying, but you know, because there's a situation that's going on with him now.
I know.
Like, but
Even as a kid, like you said, you influenced. You look at his house, like that's what you thought a perfect house looked like.
So I would
TV
say,
show.
Black family.
you know, Bill Cosby is one
Not
of
his
those
drinks
people.
that he made.
Not his concoctions.
Not his bartender.
See,
days.
this is where we going. See, I said maybe
that?
controversial.
I just have to address the elephant in the room.
You could have said Jello. You could have said Jello.
I'm just saying. I know he's a mixologist.
See, messing this man up. But like I said, Bill Cosby was one of the great influences as a young youth as growing up.
Shut up.
See this I'm saying.
Got
He
the
said, not the person who had the most people under the influence. All right.
See?
Let's stop. Bill Cosby's a great man, man.
Yeah, Bill Cosby was the guy. So
I get you though.
yo.
I saw an episode recently that was super dope. Okay,
Nah, but like I said, Bill Cosby is just one of the people that, for me personally, as an entertainer.
I miss the Cosby Show.
You know what I mean? His show was great. His cartoons, it was meaningful. It wasn't just some, just random cartoons. Just it meant something, and it always had a message behind it. So us growing up, where we come from, waking up on Saturdays to watch those cartoons and to be a part of it and to see him on Tuesdays or whatever, Wednesdays or whatever days he was on, it gave you a sense of purpose for us as a young black man. So that's what I say.
I dig it. What you got, Mike?
Theo had a good life. Childhood impact from a celebrity, I think I would pick Pac. Pac, I feel like, only because of his versatility. I feel like that was somebody that came from an environment that we were kind of fostered in the hood. But again, he applied himself outside of the influence of where he was. Meaning he went to school, he went to arts, high schools, and he was doing music and acting and poetry, which I didn't know until my 17th birthday. My aunt, shout out to Aunt Nisi, she gave me a book of all of Tupac's poetry that I didn't even know was published. And that, again, was something that kind of gave me a frame of mind that you could do whatever you want. You could be whoever you want. And the other thing that really kind of made note for me was Pac was always, in my opinion, himself, but at the same time, he knew when to articulate. Like if he would go on a talk show, if he was giving an interview, he knew that he had to articulate his words to get his message across. Because his music was filled with all kinds of other words that people would shun him for because it just wasn't their cup of tea. But if he said something that was of value, he made sure that you understood what he was saying, but you also understood that he was articulate in his stance. So that made a big impression on me, and that's why I always continue to read and find big words and apply them to my lexicon.
You know, when we edit this, it got
It's going to be a whole explosion.
Animation.
Yeah.
All right, brother, come on.
Okay, who would you?
I mean, this is a tough one for me. I wanted to say hip hop in total, maybe like the Locks, maybe like I feel
The
like
Locks?
the Locks. They had like that gritty, like they made you feel comfortable to go outside sometimes in a weird way. Like you listen to the hip hop again. See, Stu back on shit. So as I start talking,
No, I'm listening to
Make
what
sure you
you're
zoom in on me, Clyde, because I don't want the audience to know that he don't respect me.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
I just feel like I'm gonna just say hip hop in general.
Hip hop.
It takes a village. Words hurt, guys. I just want you to know, words hurt. Words and non-words hurt. Guess I'm the boring one on this panel. It takes a village. Family impact on relationship. We'll start with you, Stu.
Okay.
All right? Since I got a fucking...
Nah,
It takes a village. Family impact on relationships. How much influence should your parents and family have on raising your kids?
I think that's subject to you. I think that's because for me personally, the way if I go with my parents, well, my father wasn't there, and the way my mother was in and out, so I can't go listen to what she said. So you guys, it's up to your discretion about how you want to choose and what you want to take in from your parent members, or when it comes to your life or bringing up your kids. So that's on your discretion. I feel like that's one of those things where, sometimes.
You see how I'm looking directly at you and attentive to what you're saying when you're talking?
Listen,
how that is?
I'm about to call your phone.
yo, I'm just saying.
Somebody call me when you start talking.
Call him. Make him feel better. But yeah, it's up to your discretion. I feel like that's one of the things where it could hinder relationship, or you not seeing eye to eye on parenting because the way your parents may have parents.
You think it causes a problem?
Yes, it could. It could.
Like in your relationship, or or the relationship with your.
Because it interferes. Because sometimes, a lot of times, it could be a problem because sometimes the parent can overstep and interfere in with the way you raising your child. Maybe certain things you may want to set a precedent and the standard for. They be like, no, don't worry about it. Mommy, grandma, granddaddy, it's this way, and you don't want that. You want them to stay, be a part.
Cute. They think that shit like that soda shit. I don't drink soda in my house. Yeah, they keep sneaking giving my kids soda.
So this is what I'm saying. So that at the end of the day, that could be a hindrance in your relationship with your kids and your parents. So that's why I say it's up to your discretion what you want to take and and use. And at the same time, you want to implement your own way of value of growing up for your children too. So
what about you, Mike?
I think that parents, I'm not going to say they should have influence. I feel like they should have influenced you this far to trust you to be a parent. Meaning that if they raised you correctly, then they should assume that the way that they raised you is what you should be taking into raising your own children. But I also feel like if you made it this far and you've been somewhat successful in life, look at the playbook, because they've done something right. For most of us, they've done something right to get you prepared for this position. So if that's the case, don't dismiss everything they say and just say, no, I'm gonna do it my way, because some of the shit that led you to your ways is because of how they raised you. So again, I think that they should be able to offer advice, even offer input, but they should also know when
to step back.
When a parent puts their foot down. And I've never had a situation where my mother or father specifically kind of interfered or got in the way. You know what I mean? Like ask and be considerate of the fact that we're also parents, even though you know your role as a grandparent.
Right.
So that's kind of my stance on that. But yeah, they should be able to advise, but also fall back without any contest. Don't sit up there and be like, I think you should do it this way because X, Y, Z.
Yeah, you.
Oh, me? How much influence should your parents and family have on raising your kids? I think they should have their influence, whatever their role is, as their grandmother, as their grandfather, as their auntie, as their uncle, a cousin, whatever. I think everybody should play their role. I think when you step into another person's role is where we run into a problem, right? When you start implementing things that are like baseline. Like if you say, I don't give my child, like I don't feed my kids pork, right? When you start saying, oh, it's just a little piece of bacon, I think now you're overstepping your parental guard.
Yeah, but isn't that the role of a grandparent?
No, to spoil them, yes. Not to implement baseline rules I have.
Okay.
I have baseline rules. If I say the kid goes to bed at 8 o'clock and you did and the kid goes to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock because grandma, grandpa, or auntie let you stay up, that's fine. But if I have cultural things that I'm stopping, like even perfect example, it's not me, but I'm saying like it's a religion thing, right? If I have my kid read the Bible at a certain amount of time, but you're like, oh, you should read the Torah or something like that. Don't mix up those two things right there. Those are baseline things that I think. So I think when you step out of your role as the aunt, the grandparents, the cousins, whatever, and then you take on a parental role, and sometimes they have to, don't get it wrong, because we all need help, you know? I have no complaints really about my situation besides the little stuff, but you know, that's just me being a parent. Like the candies and stuff like that, I'm not really big on, but I get it, grandparents do those things. Yeah. So that's a grandparent role. But when you step past that line and you start doing baseline stuff, then I have a problem. I personally don't have any problem, but I've seen it happen to other people.
I say you just named a situation that I've been through, and then it was partly the religious one, where it was like, oh, well, we're gonna get her baptized on such and such. What do you mean? And what religion is she?
Yeah.
How are you giving my daughter, you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, well, this is what we've done. Our whole family's been.
No, that's the baseline.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
your family. She got another side, and again, as a father, that should be discussed between me and her mother.
Right, because those are baseline things that now culturally change my child.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, oh, you just changed the appetite for the day or something like that. This is a baseline. Now she's a Muslim.
You altered the course
Now
of her life.
now she's a Buddhist.
Yeah.
And I'm in my house and now she don't talk to me no more. Because,
I think, like, I'm happy about the mother that I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
me too.
she,
Hashtag me too.
Boy, oh
so
boy.
I'm really proud of like she taught me something new the other day, and it just was like when she's watching my daughter, I always feel like she's good, but then like sometimes my mom's a level up and do something else, right? So I was going to take my daughter out to medieval times, right? And she like evacuated the whole house, and I couldn't understand why. And she was like, I did that because you was coming to get your daughter and all the other kids was in the house. I felt like I didn't want them to feel like they were being left. So I just escorted everybody out the house and we went to the park. And then but that's why I want her around. That's why I want her to be an influence. I don't really have a true concern about any of that baseline stuff being interfered with, because polite is my mother's baseline, and I'm cool with that. She just keep reiterating being nice, like.
Well, not personally, because that's what I said. Personally, I'm fine.
Right.
I'm saying in general.
No, I'm saying, but none of that baseline stuff that you were concerned with in general, like that kind of stuff. I don't have none of those concerns. So she's the only person. I mean, but then I think of it when you said like nephews and stuff. It made me think like, oh, I am like a rough uncle. Like I am a rough uncle, and I don't want. I do wonder. I know they know I'm not gonna break their kids.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like perfect example.
I'm not gonna break my nephews, but I'm kind of rough with them because I'm the uncle.
But you got sisters, right? So in a situation, I'm not saying they did it or they not do it or whatever, but I'm saying you have sisters and they have their households with their kids. So you have different things. How do you feel about them implementing their different things in your household, if that's possible?
So I guess that would probably come from like
Because they have been
that Joy song that I was playing. I actually started playing it for my daughter, and we was playing it the whole time on the way to medieval times. We played it for 45 minutes straight, over and over again. I kept making jokes to start it over just so we could start it over. So we played it for the whole ride. And she was like, "Is that gospel?" I go, "Yeah." So that conversation about religion is not one that I have, but she gets it when she goes with my sister to church, and like it's kind of like cool. So I guess I'm happy that the people around my child, around my daughter,
With your influence.
yeah,
where there's no too much.
But not making it like again. I think we all are good with that. But just generally speaking, if the influence was something else, if your sister was Hindu or another religion or atheist,
Or like
atheists
when doing
straight up didn't believe in God, it's just like, yo, there's no God, there's no Santa, there's no Santa Claus, you know.
Well, there's certain things that I don't believe that
Easter Bunny's not real.
There's certain things I think a child shouldn't
That's the
be.
tooth fairy.
Is
Because I'm the tooth fairy.
fat. I don't think children should be fat.
That's a
I don't
choice,
believe. I think it should be a choice, an adult choice. I don't think children should be fat. I don't think children should be rude. I don't think children, like, those are my baselines. Like, as long as we staying on that, like, if I don't catch you like 2 plates, no, hold on. Like, if that's the case, then something like that. But like dreads, like if I actually braid my daughter's hair and then she has dreads now, I probably would be bothered by that. Or, you know, like certain things like that baseline that would concern me, certain things. But I don't think anybody would truly violate that. I don't know.
Right.
I know that you're saying that we're good,
No.
but it makes it hard for me to fathom that kind of scenario.
So I just want to tell y'all, shout out to you, be good support.
And that's why I was willing to look at myself, because I am a rough uncle. So if it would be something, I implement the violence.
Right.
I'm the one instigating, slamming him on his neck. Like,
You can't
okay.
throw people on their neck.
Nah, you're trying to hurt
All right,
them. Nah,
so-
Until they're
that's
13.
Yeah.
I'm just
All
saying.
right, smash and grab. How much influence should they have in your relationship? We're talking about
parents.
yeah.
I definitely think that they should have a huge, like, there was some, growing up, there was always something dope about like being chosen by a parent. Like, I know we talked about it when it came to interracial dating, but like someone giving you their daughter is like dope. Like, I know y'all going out tonight, but have her back at this time. Like that kind of, and then bringing her back at that time, and there be not no worries. I'm not saying that we ain't do the things on the list. I'm just saying she got back home in time, and that kind of influence that
Untouched?
someone's watching.
Untouched?
Huh?
Untouched?
No, she wasn't returned untouched. No,
You opened that wrapper.
she wasn't returned
All right,
untouched.
smash
She
and
was
grab two.
returned
How
on
much
time.
influence should your parents have in your relationship?
Not that much. I'll say a little bit, as long as it's a healthy relationship. Now, if it comes toxic and it's, dangerous relationship or things that's, going awry, then they should step in. But as far as if there's fine and that's what they like, your child likes, or I like, respect what situation I'm in, and then we move forward from that. If it's nothing negative going on, you just, that's it.
How much say does Tito have?
My father don't really jump in on any of my relationships. My mother doesn't either jump in, but I know that I have conversations with her that allude to advice.
How much influence should she have though on
Should she have?
get rid of this woman?
She should have a decent enough influence where you consider, again, her opinion and, well, their opinion and their advice, but I think you should learn to listen without letting them lead. So they shouldn't be leading you through any kind of relationship situation. They should provide you valuable enough feedback for you to make your decision. But for parents, I think that your parents know you just like you know your own. So if you know your kids and you know exactly how they are and you know what's probably best for them, understand that somebody much older than you, your parent, likely is doing the same thing now, but they're just much further in the future. So the same things that I'm going to be watching out for my daughter when she's 20 years old, my mother was doing that at 20, but I probably didn't appreciate it. So that kind of thing. But
And that just come to as a parent. You gotta let your kids grow. You could give them sound advice, but at the end of the day, they gonna have to be the ones to implement it. If they don't implement it, you can always be like Chris said, be petty. I told you so. But at the end of the day, you have to let them develop who they are going to be. You could give them advice. I could lead you down and show you what you need to do and tell you good advice, but you have to use it and pick and choose what you want to use from that to elevate yourself, and then you decide from your own experiences what works and what don't work. Because whatever advice they may give you back in the day may not work now. So you got to pick and choose.
Don't like you, she like everyone.
how much influence? How much influence?
Tell you, being chosen is something special.
I don't think so. It's twofold. I think that they should have an impact or influence to a degree. It's a very small degree though, only because no parent thinks that anybody's good enough for their kids, realistically.
No, it's not true.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
I've been good enough a lot.
No.
Shit.
No, at some point they want to pass their daughter off or they want to pass their son off. They hope, they hope that somebody.
All right, push. So how much influence should parents have in your relationship?
I think they should have some. It's the minimal amount means, like, for me would be the person that you're dating should have enough respect for. If it's not, it's based on respect. So once they respect your parent, that's a baseline. Then you have your parent. If your parent sees that somebody's using you or something like that, I mean, that kind of influence they could have, or
Like I said, toxicness.
yeah, if they see that kind of stuff, then yeah, I think the minimal part is, again, like I have a daughter, I have a son. Realistically, they're perfect to me. So I don't think anybody's good enough for them. Just me, you know what I mean? And I think everybody feels that way. No matter, even if you accept it after a while because you know your daughter loves him or your son loves him, moms and dads accept that, but because they're a nice guy or a nice girl. But I think ultimately deep down in everybody's heart, you feel like they're perfect. So you got to watch how much influence you allow the parents to have, because if it goes too far, it's gonna be like, just leave him.
Yeah,
or
I'm
leave
about
her.
to say every minute thing that you can get over in a relationship, if they know that detail, then they can be like, "Oh, why you still with him?"
Yeah, that's
why
why
'cause she left her fucking shoes.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why you don't. That's why you don't share. That's why I think you don't share. It kind of could go with siblings too. Like, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
got to be careful.
Friends?
Sometimes when you have those, I think friends, because it's an outside influence. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? If you call me and you start talking about relationship shit, I'm not invested enough to be like, leave her.
Females though, the reverse is, yo, what he do? Oh no.
Let me tell you why. Because females create this unnecessary basket
Yep.
of everything you did.
Yep.
And then it goes in that basket.
Yep.
He was doing what? He must have cheated on you. Now the chick is crazy. Now you're in the whole space. See, with us, it's like, she like, come on, Mike. You mad because
Parents ain't going that far.
she mad because she ain't call you back. You called her a whore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you were
But I
wrong.
think that the reason why family is important in your relationships is because it's the smallest version of a community. And I think building a community is what you want to do with someone that you're dating. So you get invited into the family, and then they meet your parents, and then
But that's a big big plug to put together. Now you got to put together your family with her, and then now you have to get on her family, and then it has to be one family. So that's why the influence has to be minimal. Because if you try to do one big kumbaya, like he said, they want to baptize people. Not but somebody may want to baptize. He may want to say, this is it's a Buddhist monk. I want to take her to a cave and something.
But this is how we come full circle to the time when you ask about relationships with your ex, right? Because they are a part of your family. Once you get inside the circle, it's kind of like cool to be inside the circle. So I know we're not talking, but I'm going to be at your nieces and nephews' birthday party because your sister invited me.
Right, that's cool.
So,
For relationships, yeah. But you always gotta remember the intentions of each person. Your mom, not saying everybody mom is like your mom's. Her intentions are pure. Not everybody else's mother's intentions are pure. Not everybody else's father's intentions are pure. So you gotta always take that into consideration, and that's why I said you have to do it on a case by case study, basis or whatever the case may be. So at the end of the day, my father or my mom, they bugging. I know what they're saying. It's cool, but they bugging. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or they trying to stir up. Like,
she trying to go to work. Women didn't work back in the days when I was working. Like,
you understand? So it's always
that money.
That's what I said. So the time, the cultural thing is changed. Then you got, like I said, so it's like I said.
She need a new bag. Why are you, mom?
Yeah.
Mind your business.
Mom said he ain't just hand you his paycheck back in the days. Your daddy used to just give me his check.
There you go.
Goddamn, lost your mind. I give you my goddamn check.
Yeah.
Better get your own cornbread.
That's why I said you got to pick and choose what you want to take that fits your relationship and your lifestyle. That's what it really goes down to.
Act like you got some sense, man. Discipline your children. Act like you got some sense.
Better get some act right in you.
Discipline your children. Mike, what is the proper way to discipline your kids?
No more ass whoopings. And as somebody that got their ass whooped growing up, I don't see the benefit in it, or at least not me hitting my child.
It's effective.
From time to time, if I'm preventing you from potentially harming yourself or doing something dangerous, you might get a pop so that you realize I'm never going to do that shit again. But growing up, me, my brother, and my cousin used to get our ass whooped. Got our ass whooped. And my mother would exclusively, and I ain't talking about the belt, I'm talking about throw your hands up and punch you in your chest type shit.
Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. But my father never, ever hit us. But I had more fear of my father, not scared in a physical sense, but more fear to disappoint him. Because of that, it's like, yo, he never whooped my ass. He never was, upset with me to the point where I should do something so egregious that it does upset me. So I was more scared. Even though my mother would whoop my ass and I was afraid of that, I knew 30 minutes later I was going back outside and I was still her little boy. But my father, he could look at me a certain way and just be like that ain't it. And I just be like, fuck.
But you know why it was like that though? Like you just said it. Your mother will whip your ass, right? And then let you go back outside and play. You knew when your father said what he said, he's standing on whatever he's talking on. So that's why it's a difference when we talk about the disciplinarian of kids. That right there plays a big role in why kids do what they do. Yeah, I take the ass whooping if I'm still gonna go back outside. So what's the purpose of the ass whooping?
I still, again, my father never told me to even come inside, like that kind of thing.
But you know, when he said bring your ass inside, you brought your ass inside, right?
Yeah, he never even said come inside. But I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. The authority was still there, but it was a different balance of
Ass
parenting.
whoopings might be not necessary though.
But look, that's what I'm saying. There was a different
kids
balance
be
of parenting. Got my ass whooped, I understood. Didn't get my ass whooped, still understood, and I had some integrity. But I think that you should offer correction before punishment. I don't ever like to see kids just get punished and that's it. It's like, damn, do they understand? Most of the time, yeah, they understand.
No,
what
when
they
you're
did
sitting
wrong.
there for a few hours, they realize I'm fucked up.
But if you correct them and they have understanding, then they're less likely inclined to do that same shit. Whereas I had fairly recently seen this young lady talking to her daughter. Her daughter could have been 5 or 6 years old. And this is the one thing I cannot stand. Yelling or threatening children. That shit bothers me to the core. This little girl, I think, asked for something in the store. Don't be fucking asking for nothing. I should punch you in your fucking face. I told you not to be doing that when you came in here. You already just got out of school. Now you want to eat everything. That's why I'm like, yo.
Yeah, that's OD.
I want to say something to you and you a stranger to me. But I think that threatening kids and having them fear you as a parent, that's where I draw the line. You can get your ass whooped, but I was never in fear.
I mean, I don't beat my kids because they're young, but I won't put it past me in life to I think sometimes kids need their ass whipped. There's a bucking situation. Like these kids, like even sometimes I guess my son, I think they don't realize or maybe they test the waters to see
How far they can
like
go?
how far they go, or like that alpha shit in the house. You know, they have that moment where you gotta tell him, like a lot of times he be talking and I'm like, yo, no, I have to talk to him in a certain manner. You know, you can't say the ACS reasons, but you know, sometimes I gotta explain to him. Gotta explain to him, like, yo, you gotta watch who you talking to, bro. You know what I mean? And you know, to some people, like, oh no, he's just a kid, and it's like, no, you know what I'm teaching him right now? He could be outside, he could be talking crazy to the wrong person. That person slapped the shit out of you and you're not prepared for it. See, I'm your father and I'm letting you know, I might slap shit out of you because I'm the wrong person. But you also gotta learn sometimes you can't be outside talking to people all crazy like that. You gotta pay attention. So I think there is life lessons to getting your ass whipped. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes when people just be like, when your kids be like, you like, oh, do this, and they be like, no, I ain't doing that. See, now you have reached a new level of disrespect, right? Because I wouldn't let a regular person disrespect me like that. So now you have to understand right now that you may get fucking Zangiefed or hit with a dookie. Because what's going to happen to you right now is, this is just minimal shit. Right now your feelings just hurt because your daddy hit you. This is the minimal. Outside, people will clean your clock. You're talking to somebody crazy like that. You want to get out your car because you think you got the right to, right? And then your nose is broken and you thought you had the right all these years. So I think ass whoopings are necessary. I think there has to be a boundary to whooping ass. Yeah.
Control discipline.
Yeah, control, yeah.
Everything should be an ass whooping.
Yeah, I don't think it should be Wednesday, take your clothes off. Be ready. You know what I'm saying? Strip down Wednesday ass whoopings.
Yeah, I think that it.
And y'all got girls. I'm sorry, y'all got girls. So I mean, it's very hard for y'all to say.
Yeah, because in my mind, I could either be the first person to hit her, or nobody ever hits her. Right? A man will never put a hand on my daughter. I think I'd rather.
Well, you leave it at my house, you know what's going on there. My shit don't discriminate.
Nah, yes it do. that'd be the point blank and the period. But no.
2 feet to your kid.
I don't want ever. I got this. I do the pinch, and it's just a thigh thing, but it's not real, and it's symbolic, and it still works as a symbol. So listen. You want this? You want me to pinch you? All right, and then she'll calm down. She'll realize that there's something that's coming. But I don't even like the threat
How
of
long that's
violence.
gonna last? Pinch. How long a pinch gonna last?
That's why I don't like the threat of violence, because once you start to pinch, then it's like, Daddy, I'm 8, right? Then what happens when she's 8 and that pinch is nothing, and she go, well, since you're 8,
suit up
the ante.
Nah, no, I don't want to start this. And I know, like me,
go get my wrestling outfit.
I've called you, and I've called this man in time of need, because I like, not in the moment, because I was dealing with it in the moment, but like afterwards, like, should I have handled it that way? What happened was, it was one day my daughter was having a problem just getting into the car seat. And it took like 15 minutes for her to go through whatever she was going through and cry and deal with whatever she was dealing with. And I waited it out. I waited the 15 minutes out. Like, I wanted you to be able to use your words, talk to me. What's going on with you? Everybody else afterwards, what'd you say? You should have put her in the car seat, snapped her in, and just drove off.
Yeah, you could cry in the Maybach.
Yeah, but I want to build a relationship in which that is not a thing where, like, I can't just ignore the fact that you're crying. Of course, she's using it to her advantage.
See, that's the problem right there.
Of course,
you don't want him to be. You're not her friend.
But here's the thing, though.
You're a father.
Here's the thing. It's a game with a child. It's a game with a child, and one thing I'm learning.
It could go two ways, though.
Yeah.
One way, I mean, and hopefully it goes your way, but the other way could go, if I just act this way, then
I get what I want.
It'll pan out to be whatever.
Oh,
I want.
I'm not a fool.
No, not to you. It doesn't have to be to you.
But yeah, but
the
it
life
is.
lesson to that. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I said, like, in my way could go wrong too, because it could be like people's neglected by emotion, right? Hence, if I had that same situation, like I told you,
Yeah.
you getting up and you getting in the car, and what you could do is, I'll find something to soothe you in this car, but you gonna get in this car. Because the other option is not to stay here and listen. Because what if your 15 minutes next time turns into, I'm not leaving until I get something? Now you negotiate with a terrorist.
Right.
That's true. But what did I teach her in the first time? You saying the next time. But what I told her in the first time is, I'm here for you. I hear you. I want to hear what it is that you got going on. What is going on with you? Use your words. Talk to me. But that's like something that I'm learning on the fly. Like I don't know that that's what I should be doing, but I know when I'm being played. I can feel that I'm being played.
Kids always playing. They players.
But you said that. You said it's a game. So again,
Yeah, but that's what I was saying, because it's a game with a child. So, how did he or she bring you the violence? What's the pop for?
Oh, the pop is
See, I can tell you that.
Outwit her.
Oh,
No,
Outwit her.
You can't always outwit a kid, and this is the thing that we fail to realize as adults. You want, like you said, you want to play the outwitting game. They already playing the game from the beginning. And
Yeah.
they're bringing you down to their
you gotta
level.
tell me you ain't playing.
And so you gotta understand, this is not a game. And like he said before, when you go out, this is not. It's not a game.
Get him, Stu.
Yeah. This is not a
Leave his
game.
ass in the seat.
This is not a game. And for me
Tell him,
personally,
Stu.
I have this relationship with my daughter, and I tell her this, right? I said one thing for sure, two things for certain. I'm your father, right? Mm-hmm. We can have a great time, or we can have a bad time. Mm-hmm. That's all based on you. And I tell her this too, as well. I say, yo, look, before I go off the Richter and just start hot or saying certain things, or we get to that level, I tell her this: you got 3 strikes. I'm gonna tell you one time. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you, if I tell you to make that bet up, I'm gonna tell you 2 times. The 3rd time, don't expect me to be the Mr. Nice Guy with you, because I gave you a exuberant amount of time and time to figure this out. So if you don't want to figure it out, that's because you just be like, now you trying to be disrespectful. So now we got to implement, all right, a rule of conduct for what we doing. Now, me personally, my daughter's about 13 going on 14. I never really had to put my hands. I mean, I had to pop her a couple of times, and I can say that on a handful of times. I'm a man, and she looks at me and say, yo, if my daddy say, she gonna try you. They always gonna try you. But when she knows, like, all right, I need this child stop before he choked me out over here, or he gonna pop me. I know what my father's capable of. So you know what? In order for me, I'm gonna try my limits to see how far I can go. All right, I stop right here before I cross over that line, and that's what it needs to be. That's what you need to have. This is not a. I understand you want to have that relationship where we could talk. All right, what's going on with you? I'm here for that, but you're not gonna play with me, and that's the problem. Kids want to sit there and they're going to run that game on you as long as they can and see how far you're going to allow them to go. I'm not going down that road with you. I'm going to sit here and say, this is the pocket that we're in.
Yeah, it happens. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I just want to be way more
Flexible.
No, I want to be tuned into her. I want to be tuned into.
You
my
could be
daughter's
tuned
emotions.
in. You could be tuned in.
Like you said, the flip side of that is the possibility of like neglect, right? And I don't want her to feel like I'm not here. Like, oh, daddy just put me in the car seat. And yeah, I know that when it's time to go home, it's time to go home. And that's the lesson that I learned. But I'm also learning that I'm kind of out here on my own, because the reason why I was trying to stop you at the door is because I was dealing with something that I couldn't articulate. So the reason
Let
why
me help you.
let me help you.
And
That's what I'm here for.
And let me say one more thing to that, right?
Got something for that.
So, like for me personally, right? Anytime I have to discipline or I have to be voiceful or very strong with my words with my child, with my daughter, I always say, "Why did I do that to you? Why did I say what I say to you?" And she sits down and she has to reflect and be like, "Well, didn't I not ask you once? What did you do? I ain't do nothing. I asked you twice. What did you do? I just sat there and not do it." So now the third time comes, what you thought was going to happen? And this is teaching her real world. Because when you go to your place of employment or you got things to do or you have a deadline.
But there's no violence in the real world.
No, listen,
What?
the violence is.
Your
You
paycheck.
keep saying, I heard you say it
the
earlier, and I didn't
violence
argue
is-
with you because it was your time to talk.
But the violence
nobody's
is,
punching nobody in the
they're
face.
not going to punch you in your face. It's a possibility. You could
If
get in
I
the shit.
steal your house right now from you, you have to sue me.
No.
The point is there's
Consequences
consequences. It doesn't have to
behind.
be violent.
That's what I'm
violence?
saying.
You
You
could
can
be on
take
the
it
But
into.
But the
You know,
You could be on
Consequences.
the. Let me ask you this.
Consequences.
No, I'm gonna ask you. So especially this is a hot topic. So you could be on the subway right now, trying to get out the thing, crying in the middle of the doorway, and somebody could be behind you like, "Yo, pardon me," and you could just stand there and cry.
Going
That-
through something.
Yeah, I'm going through something, and that person's gonna wait for you to get on the train,
You
or
going
you
through
gonna
this
clean
door,
your
what-
clock,
Well, he gonna push you right out the fucking
Yeah,
way.
you going through the door.
or you going
But
through
like
the
I was
turnstile, and your swiper ain't swiping, and he behind you, and he like, "Yo, could you hurry up?"
Yeah,
Or
my
you,
card's not working.
Or
I'm
you trying to
just-
put
give
that
me a minute.
$86 that you was talking about before on the card, and ain't nobody got time for that.
Like I said,
And I'm going
So-
through something.
it's consequences behind everything. Regardless if it's a physical altercation or if it be your paycheck, there's always going to be consequences if you do not do what you're supposed to do. And
Yeah.
kids need to understand that. If you're told or you're asked to do something that's not hurting
You
you
about to get
in
beat
the
right
best
now.
favor of you, you need to do what you need to do. That's it. I don't have to physically be an altercation.
Yeah.
But like I
Put your
said,
seatbelt on and sit your ass back.
that's it. I'm supposed to sit here and cry because you don't want to put a seatbelt on and I'll get in a car accident and your ass flying through the window?
Pick up your tablet and shut the hell
Come
up.
on, we ain't got time for that.
Pick up your tablet and shut
Yo,
up.
the smash grab, what is... Yo, you almost got beat on TV.
He sat there like, dude,
Get your shit.
there's consequences.
That was some walking to get some cheesecake shit.
Smash and grab. What if your partner disagrees or has a different approach?
Oh yeah. So here's another thing, right? I'm telling you, it goes back to my feels. I promise you, it goes back to my feels. I worry about the fact that my daughter has to live in two different worlds every day. I'm not a weekend father. I'm there picking her up every day. And the mother that took her to school and the father that picked her up are two totally different people. And I could see that it spills over, but I try to keep it. I want to be tapped in and tuned into this. This is what I want to do. I don't want to get involved with the other side of it, which leaves her hanging in that way because she can't come to me about that because we don't talk about her mother like that. So it's not about the mother, it's about her. So what is it that you need? And I want to be there for her, but the disagreeing about it is nothing I could do about it. Like, you one of the things that hurt me the most is she said, my child's mother said to me, I said, yo, what are you doing? She's a baby. What do you think it's cute that she's eating Cheetos? Like, how is that cute? She said, you're not even here. Who cares what she eats? I said, oh.
But see, that's a total.
That was a
yeah.
low blow. And but how do you deal with it? How do you deal with it? You just realize that she does have to live in the world. These are her parents.
But you know what you do with it? You deal with it because I deal with the same thing that you deal with. You maintain your course of which your disciplinary and your guidelines is in your house. So regardless of whatever is going on over there, you know when you step your ass over here, this is what it is. That's it.
About to be a punishment again.
Just, when you step over here, you're gonna get love. This
No,
is what
it's not-
that's
listen,
all I'm trying to
Listen. It's nothing
Like
wrong
Kung
with
Fu Panda.
coddling, but you got to understand, like, the world ain't gonna coddle her. And she got to understand when she goes to places that you have to understand what's going on around you, and that's what it is. This is what's set for you here, and that's what's set over here with you, with your mama. what you and your mama allow, may not gonna allow over here. So you gotta know when you come step over here, I'm not allowing that. That's not what's going to be the protocol over here. And then once you get a better understanding of that, your life will be a lot better. That's it.
All right.
Good, Mike.
What you got, Mike?
Just like y'all, I feel like I experienced that same thing. Just because, again, like you said, my daughter lives with her mother, and when she's with me, do things differently. She might let you drink juice or soda in the bed. I don't do that. You're going to be sitting down at the table. You're going to understand that. Same thing. There's a duality. Even if you are with the mother of your child, there's still a duality there because you're two different people. And if you do not have the exact same parenting style, then you got to find balance, because as a parent, whether you're the mother or the father, you don't want to assume that you're parenting wrong. So if somebody else, the other partner, is doing it in a way that you don't do it, sometimes you got to just allow them to be the parent. And I feel like I get that a lot because when I go to see my daughter who lives with her mom, if I'm doing something, sometimes my mother will just turn the corner and be like, oh, I don't do this like that, or I do this differently. Okay, cool, but you also put on panties in the morning and I don't. So you are going to do what you do as a mother, but allow me to be her father. Don't tell me all of the things that, I missed out on because I'm not here, like you said, and not even in a malicious way. It's just like, oh, well, for the last couple of weeks, she's been doing this. All right, cool, but now that she knows I'm here, she's going to do it different. Only because she knows her father ain't playing that game. And for that same way I tied into discipline, like I said, I don't hit and I don't like yelling. But sometimes when I come in the room and my daughter's doing something she's not supposed to do, she doesn't have a fear of getting hit. But if I walk in and she knows she's caught, she'll do this. And I know I'm pissed off at that because I don't yell at you, but I know your mother does. And that bothers me. But at the same time, that's your parenting style. You don't hit her, so I got to kind of weigh good and bad. But at the same time, when I'm stern, she knows I'm stern. When you stern, she like, out of here. I'm going to keep it moving until you yell.
Yeah.
So that's the threshold where she respects you. Mine is, I could cut an eye, I could look, or I could let you know twice, like, yo, I said stop. Okay, all right.
All bark, no bite.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what it is. And like I said, you just gotta
That's
have
why he like, I'll bite him.
listen,
Moral of the story is don't get raised in the stew house.
listen.
She's going to ask you 3 times.
You too.
And they going to bust
As a
your-
matter of fact, question to you.
Or what if my partner, we do have a different approach, but just not speaking about me, just speaking in general. I think it's healthy to have a different approach. I don't think 2 people should be on the same course. That's cult-like. I think you should, one person is like, taking down a notch. I don't think both people need to be on a level. I don't think the kids need to feel like I'm on edge in the house. I feel like,
That worries me.
no, but I
Got to
do-
have options.
No, I do because at the end of the day, if I'm narrowing it down to me, she does have a different approach on how she handles certain things. And I'm like, for a second you kind of like whatever, but I'm like, it's necessary because the kid falls, they need to be picked up and be held, right? They need that, right, from somebody. Somebody got to do it, right? Right?
From somebody.
But if the kid falls and I know it's not that bad, right? I'm like,
up.
I tap him on his chest and say, "Get the fuck up." You know what I mean? He's like, oh. I'm like, no, you're not sad. We're not sad. He's like, wait, shit, I'm not sad. It's a confusion sensor. But I know, like yesterday, my daughter fell, right? Like she did like a whole spinorama trip, hit her back and her head. She did some whole, like in the movie, right? I was like, oh, that looked like it hurt.
That's a real one.
That was real because
Take tears for you.
and I know it hurt because she wasn't crying. She was rubbing her back. She was like, that's that shit that gets you. You like, it hit a f***ed up spot. So I was
Figure
like,
this out.
He said, I ain't get a chance to cry. I'm just in pain.
yeah. That's how you know it was real because she was like, I'm not crying. This shit hurt. So she picked up and then I brought her over also as well. And then I was like, yo, can I rub her back? And she was like, okay, you recognize that when I'm in pain, I'm in pain. But if she just do a regular slip on a piece of paper and fall and it just make a sound, I know nothing is hurt. I'll get up. Your limbs is good. Get your shit up. Let's go. Keep it moving. I don't like to coddle that emotion of, and I know that sounds right that you do, but maybe that's the difference. That I do have 2 people that I know somebody's there to do that.
The nurturing,
So you don't
the
know what's
nurturing
on the
part.
end.
Yin-yang.
Yeah, so, in your situation, I guess that is the difference, right?
Yeah.
Because I know somebody is placating to that,
Yeah.
talking to you, getting inside the car. I'm just grabbing you by the back of your shirt and putting you in the car.
It's just put you in the car.
And you can cry all day. all
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
I'll just
yeah.
I'll give you your blanket and you'll cry yourself to sleep.
And then too, as men, like we raising daughters, your level of tone of your voice sets
Yeah.
trembles through her.
Yeah.
You're like, what did you just do? Like, and then it freezes them up. Be like, oh shit, it's about to go down. And then now they placate to whatever you need them to do because now they know like this shit just got escalated. So
Yeah.
I don't want no parts of this, and I don't want my
Yeah, I
daddy
think-
to be in my face.
I think it got to be a balance, but I do what you were saying. Like, you know, it's hard because like if you're not, if two people are together, then I think you know at the other. Now I know how you just. I physically can see it, so now I can counteract. Because if you're the aggressor, then I'll tone it down a bit, right? But if I'm the aggressor, but if you don't know, then especially for people who then you might want to just tone it down a bit altogether. Because
Yeah, because I don't even have enough time to be no villain.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But
I ain't got enough time to be
but
no
you're gonna
villain.
have to be the villain.
Yeah, but you
And that's-
also
you
know
have
that
to be the villain.
you can't be good cop.
Yeah.
Because you understand that.
No, I'm just saying, like,
That's, I have that problem too, though. I ain't gonna lie. Even with
I pick her up from school and take her to her mom.
I don't like.
I ain't got enough time to be in here like, I said.
I don't like being the bad guy all the time because it
Watch when you
feels
get
like,
your calls.
Asking for
It's
nothing
like,
but the radio.
you know, you come home from work and here you go with these rules.
Yeah. or they waiting on you to be the disciplinarian. Like, wait till your father get home. Don't put that shit on me.
She hasn't done that
About
to
to
me.
grab a beer and chill.
She hasn't. Yo, break the house up.
Word up, you f***ed up? That's crazy.
All right, the last one of the day, guys.
Here we go.
Textbooks and sex books. Sex education limits. Should sex education be taught to minors, and should it be allowed?
What you think?
I let whoever wants to grab this
You.
one. Me?
Yeah, jump on in the
You
water.
know, okay, one of the reasons this topic came for me too, it was a while ago. It was when my son was about to turn like 1 or 2. One of my friends, she's a teacher, so she brought up, you know, when they talk about certain sexual things in class, they ask you to sign a waiver.
As a parent
Now,
or a kid?
As a parent. I can ask my kid to sign a
I'm
waiver.
about to say,
I'll burn the school down.
what?
What's it called? So you have to sign a
You
waiver.
know how old his kids is, right? They signed waivers.
He's one. Yep, that's his signature. Yep, I can tell.
Cheeto print.
Mark it in blood.
Go.
No, and I was like, yeah, I would remove my kid because for me, maybe I'm stuck in the old time. Maybe I am, and maybe somebody has to educate me. But I think that we should only be talking about the science of the body of DNA with kids. We should be talking about reproductive systems. We should
I
talk
got
about
that.
how organs work. We should be talking about
Anatomy.
You can be talking about anatomies. We can talk about how you can contract STDs. Those things are important to kids, all right? I think when we go outside the limit of those things, the tough conversations that the birds and the bees conversations, I think that should be left up to the parents. I don't think you should have that conversation from a teacher for several reasons. One, teachers like you guys brought up earlier are huge influencers. Huge. They can have impacts on your life, positive or negative. And then also, in a weird way, I think we've seen the influx of this too. It brings, of course, this sexual nature that blurs the lines between teachers and students. And now we have to even think about that conversation where we're talking about, and I'm not saying, it probably happened when we were younger, but it wasn't a huge thing with the in between students and teachers. But now it's like, now you really got to be worried about whether your daughter or your son is smashing the teacher. You know, and I feel like those lines get blurred because now there's a sexuality that comes with negotiating with my kid on who and what their preferences are. Like, I don't think my 10-year-old should have a bedroom preference.
Yeah. And if you're teaching that, then kids are inclined to ask questions about your teaching.
Yes.
So whatever it is that you're teaching, you got to assume that, one, they're going to hear what you're saying, but at the same time, they're also going to have to try and figure this shit out themselves. Because they may not want to present you with any questions. It might be embarrassing. So now, whatever you presented to them, they might have to figure out among their peer group or on social media or some other kind of fucking third avenue that, again, is not the parents at home. So for that same instance, I think, just like you, yes, reproductive organs, sexual anatomy, whatever we learned in school for sex ed, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But once that conversation starts talking about sexual preference and orientation and shit like that, I think that should be, one, I don't believe that the teachers are prepped for that kind of conversation anyway.
Right.
General knowledge, yeah. Science, yeah. I don't want my math teacher in my gym class. I don't want my gym class teaching me shit about science. You know what I mean? And at that same instance, I don't think that teachers have been prepped enough to have that conversation with a counselor, maybe. Cool. Maybe a counselor that at the school is prepared to talk you through all kinds of shit. Alcoholism,
I don't even think
sex.
I don't think a counselor is even prepared to have those kind of conversations
They're more
about
prepared.
sexual preference.
They're
To be
more,
honest.
no, I'm saying they're more prepared to have one-on-one conversations.
okay.
I'll say that. Not in a broad classroom with 30 kids and you talking about certain things that, again, I wouldn't feel comfortable even having that one-on-one conversation, but I'd rather have that
I definitely
interaction with them so they can ask me questions.
It feels so forced too. Because it happens not just in schools. I know we have it as sex education, but it feels like it happened on TV because it's not just like, you know, it's heterosexual sex. I don't think you need sex scenes in basic TV.
Done with them.
And then it's like if you watch a movie nowadays, right? Like any kind of movie, it's like, okay, there has to be a love scene, right? And then boom, then there has to be a gay scene, right? Boom, then there has to be a heterosexual sex scene. Then there has to be a gay sex scene,
black guy in
and then
there.
there has to be then we have to do black, and it's like I feel like you're manipulating our minds to be involved in a conversation where I just want to watch the movie.
Yeah.
And I think, because
Because if it doesn't play to the plot, right?
Why
Now
throw
you
it
just
in there?
feeding me shit.
If these two having sex didn't play to them getting caught for a robbery that they did, then why the fuck why do I need to see
This is
anybody
the
having
Tuesday night, they
sex?
just-
yeah,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
done with it. I think that sex in movies I think sex in movies is just the remnants of casting couches.
Right.
Yeah.
But and then when we talk about sex in schools, you gotta understand you don't know the sexual preference of the teacher or the guidance counselor. So what may be cool for them, they may feel it's all right for you to, if you feel, oh yeah, this is what you could be too. It's no problem with that. So this is why you it's a slippery slope when you have those kind of conversations. I feel like if you took religion out of school, right? Christianity is one of the biggest. Then you have Islam. Then you have Buddhism and all these other things. And then, no disrespect when I say other things, but to any religion, you have these. We took that out of school, right? Because we don't want to. We don't want to do that.
You want to mix religion and education. Right?
Religion and education. So
Separation
why?
between church and state.
Right. So then, if that's the case, then why are we implementing sexual preference into schools? Because if I'm a Christian, I have to teach my daughter the Christian way on my personal and at home time. So if you want to be what you feel comfortable being, that's something that you should teach your child on your personal time and on your schedule. And that should not be implemented with my child.
And you know another thing I'll say about that too, I'm sorry to jump in there, but it's like I pose this question to people who challenge that, right? It's like you tell me that kids need to know that, right? Why? Because they can make a decision for themselves at 10? Just leave well enough alone and let their parents or their environment
decide what they want to be.
Help them influence that. They have friends, they have family, let them deal with that. You know, you can let everybody know that they accept it, but I think when you start going and suggesting what people should do.
The other thing is like we kind of alluded to earlier is that we're not talking about facts. Like scientists and psychiatrists have not figured this shit out. So why am I letting third grade teacher? I appreciated the fact that they sent home a waiver for you because in some schools.
No, they didn't do it to me. One of the teachers, she said that they do it. And she asked me would I sign it, and I said if they did it, I would sign it.
That's smart to offer that as an option. But I remember riding past the school a couple of months ago, or whenever Pride Month was. I don't know when it was, and every kid that came out to school had a flag, and at the same time, I know every kid there probably doesn't agree with that. But if they were to say, "Yo, I'm not taking the flag. I'm not participating," they'd be in trouble.
Yeah,
they would be in trouble for not participating. And in that same instance, when I worked at the arena, we had the Nets had they have it every year, Pride Night. Cool. Every staff member is forced to wear a pride pin, and some of them contest. And it's like, I understand you, but at the same time, we're forced to do this.
Yeah. And you see what I'm saying? As an adult, I can't even, like, if I'm working for a business, right, and I'm having a pride night and I'm a supervisor, I can't even be mad at that for wearing the pin, right? I'm not mad at that. I'm saying somebody who does not have a chance to make a decision, and I don't think they should even be in that conversation because even before we all grew up, you'd be like, yo, if I have a son, I want him to be fucking mad good. It's like, you know what I mean? I have a son now. I don't want my son to be fucking anybody until he's married at this point. Like that's how my mind works. I don't want to envision my 5-year-old son having sex with anybody or soul. I don't want him to have a girlfriend. I want him to do everything right.
Yeah.
I want him to go to church and pray over the woman, and I want her to be a virgin, and I want him never to go through heartache.
Yeah.
That's what I want, and I know it's unrealistic, but I don't want to envision one of the younger guys at work. He was like, "Yo, you know, saying your son get older, you gonna be getting mad pussy." I'm like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was cool when I didn't have a son.
Yeah.
I have a son now. It's not cool now.
Yeah.
Like one day,
It's not.
one of those.
It was cool for me.
Yeah, exactly.
It was cool when I did it, but it ain't cool when you
It's
do
cool
it.
when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Fuck it.
It was one of those days when I was with my daughter, and we was looking up at the clouds, and she said it looked like something. I said, nah, you know what that looked like? It looked like a baby in a womb. And then we went through this whole thing. Now she's 5 now. This is a couple of years ago when she was going to a different childcare. And we went through the entire thing, showing her what I actually saw. Like, and she was like, "That is that." And we was talking about it, babies being in the wombs. And then she asked me a question. She's like, "Wait, so you was in grandma's stomach?" Like, that is surface level. She's 3, right? She's about 3 at the time. So that's surface level I will accept. And that is the kind of conversation that I'm comfortable having with her at the moment. You have nothing to do with her except for educating her.
Right.
And I'm telling you that we've had the extent of a type of conversation I think we should have at this point.
Yeah.
Like, that cloud looks like a baby in a womb.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I want to talk about. That's the extent of it. But putting it in schools, it makes me want to go. It makes me want to think that that they're doing it for nefarious reasons. But at the same time, there are a lot of kids that get lost in the mix because parents are working, everybody needs a job. Like, the truth is, we not sending kids to school for education. We sending kids to school so we can work, so we can take care of bills, so we can take care of stuff. And the truth is, it's a lot of questions, and then those questions come up.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
If we send our kids to school because we got to work and so we can do that, their job is to teach them, right? And if
Yeah.
they're doing, and let's be for real, the United States is not the best educational system in the world, right?
Yeah.
I think we need to focus more on teaching these kids the fundamentals of education
Yeah.
instead of worrying about, hey, your sexual preference.
Yeah, but in class, that sounds nice, but just like our news is dominated, it's the same way that the schools are. But instead of saying that this person...
How's that pushing the country forward?
No,
That's
hold
what I'm
on.
saying.
What I'm saying is that we are adults. We are adults, and our news has not been dictated by policy in a long time. Where someone was concerned with the way that the interest rates were circumventing the savings.
But that's what we need to learn.
That-
Hold on. I don't want to
I
get to
know.
my 30s and have to figure this shit out.
But us as adults, we're missing that, right? So now we've distracted our adult minds with this other stuff. Now the
Not
kids,
me.
maybe not you personally, but the kids are now, they're focused on, why is this kid quirky? Why is this kid this? And instead of saying because he has a loose and flamboyant personality, instead of saying that that's who that child is, it's like, let's all sit down and talk about something that doesn't even exist at the moment. It's about sexuality. Sexuality doesn't even exist at this moment. Like, this is not, there's no prefaces being prefaced, okay? There's nothing to be nothing at this time. So for you to have those conversations at that time just feels absolutely wrong, but I understand where the notion comes from. The notion comes from...
That kids may get lost in the system.
No, kids are talking about, why is that kid quirky? Why is that kid quirky? Why is that? And then they making fun of the quirky kid. And instead of just saying, well, he talks interestingly. He has a unique dialect, or he talks, well, listen, yes, he wears different colors and he always wears this, or she wears this, instead of having the actual conversation about what's actually happening, they say, well, it's because he's dealing with a larger issue. Let's all discuss the larger
like
issue.
little girls that were tomboys growing up, if they were growing up today, they would label them all as confused. It's like, nah, played basketball and football with us. Now she's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She wasn't
Yeah.
confused then. So don't
Yeah.
project that and put that on them because they're not thinking about sex. It's for you to be talking about sexual orientation.
I think the sex. I think, like you said, honing in on the sexual aspect of it makes it, to me, highly irresponsible. When we could be talking about learning mortgage rates,
Yeah.
when we could be learning about all these things that we talk about fixing up the
But
community.
the world is that way.
But we
That's
can't-
that's why I want you to.
No, the world is not that
No
way
way.
because every country is not that way.
No, hold on.
Because in China they're not saying about talking about
Education
depression.
is not preference.
Hold on,
They're not
hold on.
educating you
What I'm
on-
saying is,
In China they're not.
in case
talking
you
about
missed it, we've been
Musical
arguing
preference.
about bathrooms for years now, right?
No, we're not, and that's what I'm saying.
Yes, we are.
No. This, I just want to try to have a real conversation for 2 seconds. And this is what I said prior to in one of the other episodes. Yes, those things happen, and there's a space for that. But on my day-to-day basis, that's not a reality. There's not like I'm bumping into people where we're arguing about a bathroom. Yeah.
Okay,
That's not
so-
an argument. So what I'm saying is, so now you're saying there's like in the building I work in, there's 200 people that work in the one building, right? And just in this space, there's nobody who's going through that, right? So now we all have to be subject to a conversation when there's other things that we could be dealing with. And I'm not saying we shouldn't be educated about it. I'm just saying that now you're going to create a bathroom that nobody goes to because there's nobody here that's like that. It's the same thing with kids. Kids should not be talking about who they should want to have sex with and who they whatever. So why are we now spending a whole 45 minutes telling my kid about if you like Yubika, you could kiss Yubika and that's okay, and I won't tell your parents because
And-
that's another thing that they do
And
too.
you know, and I think,
I think
hold
that's
on, let me get
fair.
100 for this one. I think also too, kids don't understand feelings. I could like you and you my friend, and just because I like you as my friend, you could associate that with me liking you as
Yeah,
that.
I like
so
that.
you know what I mean? So we playing a dangerous game,
Right.
and we shouldn't be playing for little kids because now you confusing them.
Yeah.
They're learning as they grow.
And it's not just, and again, to be very clear, I'm not referring to because gay. I'm referring to even heterosexual. Now you're over sexualizing these little girls where they walk around with these shorts and they, they're sexualizing themselves. And with the cell phones, you can't even control what's going on.
Right.
Or with the boys, young boys, they want to have sex now. Yeah. And again, we did it. I get it. But growing up, it wasn't thrown at us like that.
That was when
it
I was discussing.
it was in a circle.
That's why I said I want to say that it's come from a nefarious place, but I don't believe so.
It is from a nefarious place.
No. When you walk in on an adult talking to your child about sex, of course it feels like, yo, watch your mouth, yo. What are you talking about?
Yes.
What exactly is going on here? That's the adrenaline that you should
I know
have.
your daughter for 5 years.
But
Have
the
you ever
reason-
heard me try to explain to her something sexual?
What? That just like threw my head off.
Exactly.
I was
Exactly. So if you came in my backyard, somebody came in my backyard, you said, listen, and I'm like, listen, sometimes you put the penis in a vagina, right? If you walked in right when you went to go get us juice, and I'm coming back and explaining to her how penis goes in vagina.
But if your son was chasing my daughter to let me grab your boobies, we all about to have a conversation.
No, you know, we're
But
upset.
that's what's happening in school.
But you know why it
Kids
feels
is running
nefarious?
around talking about your lack of boobies, your privates, and the teacher's saying, hold on, you guys. Listen,
talk
this
about
is
math.
what we're talking about.
We're talking about math.
You're right. That should be a good deterrent. But the truth is, kids are running around there, grabbing boobies and acting crazy and doing stuff and have access to and sexting at a way younger age. We still have conversations today about how maybe you shouldn't. I don't think y'all that serious enough to be sending those pics to. We can have those real adult conversations about not doing it. But a kid is like, you want to see? Sure. And they're sending pictures back and forth.
That type of stuff.
And so when you have that in your school,
for kids, I'm not saying it's okay. For kids, that's between kids. But when you insert your adult mouth into it, it makes it
Smash.
yeah, but
Oh, sorry.
You're the same kid. You're the same kid whose mother wasn't available for the school.
Now we're going to the minority. Now we're going to the
I'm
minority.
not saying I'm not. I don't want to say that it's because you don't talk to your kid. I'm saying that in this environment, the only thing they want to talk about is sexuality. And I would like to put some order to it, maximize it at 45 minutes. And I know you like, whoa, what's going on here? I'm trying to tell you that this conversation is being had with or without us,
But
and I'm
what
just trying to be a
qualifies the
responsible
teacher
adult.
to have
That-
that conversation?
You don't even know the teacher
Over
preference.
me.
Like, and that's the problem I keep saying. If you don't know the person preference that
you
you
said
in
that
the line,
earlier. I thought that shit was
He
dope.
could,
You don't know.
He could like 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's- and that's
when
the
he said
thing.
that, I said I should just go up to my teacher, to my daughter's teacher, and be like, "Yo, listen, I want you to feel comfortable telling me anything about your sexuality." And I just want to see how awkward that person would
But
feel.
there you go.
If I just walked up to him and said, "Hey, buddy, just so you know,
I think we should just
you
focus
got a
more.
friend in me."
I think the
Yeah.
world has so advanced with iPhones and everything, and we should just be
Androids.
focused. And
Shit, you
those
don't.
terrible Androids. All right. Smash and grab.
There we go.
Smash and grab. Come on, guys. Let's get me out of here. I'm hungry.
I got it. Come on,
I'm hungry.
smash it. You gotta ask.
I had to wait. I had to make it silent. How should it be introduced? How should this be introduced? Sex education. How should it be introduced?
Twofold. One, wait until they're of age to actually understand what you're talking about. So high school, fine. I'm cool with high school because they have a much better understanding of themselves. Kids in high school are having sex. Elementary school,
Exactly.
much less likely. Kids in high school are definitely having sex. Kids in high school have a much better understanding of what their orientation is, at least closer to the end of high school. But the same way we kind of talked about the waiver a little bit, I feel like that was somewhat of a middle ground. But I think that an acceptable way is, again, if they get to high school, it's an elective. It shouldn't be taught to every fucking body, just like home ec or going to, auto body class. We don't need everybody learning how to fix a damn car, but if you have interest in fixing a car, yes. If you have interest in these sexual exploit conversations, or if you just have curiosities and you want more understanding,
you're a
sign up
freak
for the class. But I shouldn't
You know,
have
fast ass.
all 2,000 kids in the high school learning about a particular thing that doesn't have any influence on their direct education. You're talking about preference as opposed to facts.
Smash and grab is too.
You, the parent. That's who's supposed to be
Introducing
introducing this. Not nobody else, because like I said, you don't know their sexual preference. Your ideals may not align with theirs and their ideology of what they think of sex is. So you need to implement that yourself in introducing that to them. Not nobody else, no stranger. I know you're my child, right? So we have to have that conversation. We're gonna have that honest
Yeah, I didn't
conversation.
put the baby in the womb. I said it was just in there.
Yeah, but I'm saying-
like I'm still, and that's me.
But you know what? I know how you
concerned
got here.
parent.
See, you're my child, so I know how you got here.
No, I'm talking about when I was talking to her.
Oh, yeah.
When I was talking to her, even then, in that moment, I didn't see how the baby got in there, but that looked like a baby in the womb. And then we could talk about that. Even with love, it's a limit. I think that I
should
don't
be
know.
But like I said, your parents gotta stop being fucking lazy
How
and
should
stop
they do?
depending on
Yeah.
somebody else to
It's
teach
not-
their kids with their
I don't think it's lazy.
It is laziness because you teach your daughter. You want to teach your daughter you're a Christian, right? Are you?
Why you do that on?
I'm asking. Are you a Christian?
Why you do that on camera? No.
Huh?
No.
You're not a Christian?
No.
Okay. Whatever your religious background or whatever you want to teach your kid. For some people, I'm a Christian. I'm gonna teach my children the Christian way of life or whatever. That's what I follow, and I'm gonna teach them. I'm not gonna let somebody else that I don't know
exactly.
teach them that. And it's me not being lazy and taking that upon myself
Exactly.
to do that. That's what I'm gonna do, and that's it. I don't want you teaching. I don't know you, bro. I don't know you, ma'am, or whatever. I don't know you.
What's your
It should
I know.
It should be implemented at home. I think that most education.
So you don't think they should start with Rihanna's "Sex with Me" and then just start explaining to kids?
Amazing.
No, I don't. I do think that, like I said, I do think that the teachers have an interesting way of coming about it. I don't
think it's.
It's not.
I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in really quick. I don't think that it should be done outside the household because if a kid is
We don't talk about gangs.
No, I'm talking about this. If a kid is molested or a kid is raped, because it would be rape if a teacher has sex with a student, you can't take that back. You as a parent could fuck up educating your kid on what's the name, and that can be fixed. You can't fix rape, right? Like that's something that sticks with somebody. So you open the door for those kind of conversations. And I know I'm going to the extreme.
Very far.
I know I'm going to the extreme, but you open the door for
I've never
you to
even
have a,
seen most of my teachers. What do you mean?
yeah, until you have your daughter grow up, because again, in my family, I got nothing but titties and ass, right? It's the truth. I know my daughter's gonna grow up with titties and ass. So now I got to deal with my daughter at 14 years old being overdeveloped at the top, overdeveloped at the bottom, and now some man is trying to explain to her something, but now she is coming across flirtatious to him all of a sudden. As this man now she's flirting with you. And my 14-year-old is flirting with you.
He identifies as a teenager, so do you know?
I don't think
He identifies as a teenager, so what you want me to say?
I don't think we should even have to introduce the topic. I think that topic results as those people kind of come into themselves and have questions about themselves or questions about understanding. And I think that when they're ready to ask questions, that's when you should be available as a parent and ready to talk to them about it.
And I even
but you don't
accept
have to go in there at fourth grade and be like, hey, I know.
And I'll even accept if the kid doesn't feel comfortable, they go to a counselor. I don't think a counselor should come to them. I feel like you could go to a counselor, but I don't want to open the door for nefarious behavior because I think we see more and more. And I love the teachers. I'm not saying the teachers are doing anything wrong. I'm just saying you open the door for temptation for people who are in this place who we got younger guy teachers. We got younger female teachers. Like you said, it ain't the grandmother lady that nobody, and that's the point I was making earlier.
Yeah, I know.
That older lady, you associate her with a grandmother or with a mother. You don't associate her with the hot teacher. Now you got a hot teacher and the 16-year-old is coming into his hormones and now he's flirting with Miss Benitez and now
I know that happened
trying to get his whistle wet.
in my high school. And at the time, in my high school, I thought like, yo, that's cool as hell. He over there popping the teacher. But now in the reverse, having a kid, I'm like, yo, what the f
my point, me having a kid, and I know that people be like, oh, you're supposed to teach your kid. Like, I can't protect, I don't know what the f you said to them. What am I protecting them from?
Yeah. What am I addressing that I don't know you said?
Yeah. Oh, you should have been on top of them. Well, I didn't know you was telling her that.
So let me ask, how did it get that far? Like, were there steps that parents who are so outraged cared about prior to getting to this?
Yeah, I think
evolution.
And
I
don't think that those.
I'm gonna tell you this why I got to that point, right? Because people that have a certain way of basic, whatever your original form of living, didn't do what they're supposed to do in voting. They are voting. They're putting people in public office, and from public offices, that's how these people are passing these laws.
That's a fact.
That's what it boils down to.
That's true.
So if we go back to episode 2 when I say if you vote, find out who your city council member is, find out who your assemblyman, your borough president, your fucking senator, your governor. Make sure you go do those voting, and then that's how you go avoid having these conversations that we're having right now.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody talking to my son about.
That's it. They go out and they vote.
Yeah,
it's true.
And then now whoever you voting for, they're gonna push your agenda, right?
It's true.
And that's why we got them. That's why we have.
You know what? I'm voting.